Absolute nature of mind is self-arising, non-draw Buddha wisdom. Yet, because of habitual grasping to dualistic conception, we are bound by it no matter what we do. As supplicate Mother Tara of non-draw wisdom, please protect us. Although we abide in the perfect meaning of absolute truth, we do not understand the interdependence of cause and effect on the relative level. We are ignorant about the true reality of phenomena. Supplicate Mother Tara of true truths, omniscience, please protect us. Like the nature of space, which is beyond all conceptual limits, the reality of all conditioned phenomena is not different from that. But there are disciples on the path who do not realize it. Supplicate Mother Tara of perfect enlightenment of the Tirikayas, please protect us. So we chant once Tibetan. Ma jie wai me pe ji ye na, yon je zen la mo ro ma yo, pe sem jin gen la de de ma, dan ji bai gen le jia de so, rang ji ge yin bar ma xie bar, sem nyo mo wang de jir ba ye, man ko wan chang pe sem jian la, yong la mo ju jie jia de so, qi nian ne ju la ma jie bar, tang ye ze ge jian zhang ne, zheng tan en be le ba la, yong yang dai ge la mi jia de so, tô bar ga wa rang ge sen, tong ne kong bar me ze bar, sa wa ngen be yin ba la, yong zhen be la me jia de so, sen rang zong ni me yi xie la, ni sen zhen be ba jia ji, jie dar se jian jin ba nam,头尼美杰拉美加德索，杨大给东来内在讲，今着杰等着那些呗，现在东来蒙拜啦，用根金杰拉美加德索，这点儿难根今年金。tham chế tế tạng yer mi chế, ta dong lo me gan za la, yong zhou san ye jie jiab de zo. Okay, so now we are page 14, I think. Yeah, I think so. Page 14, right? Rule takes page 14.
I thought we were on the top of page 18, although we abide. Whoops, that's not right.
Page 18.
Although we abide in the perfect meaning of absolute truth.
And then we have a different page. What do we about in the perfect meaning of absolute truth, right? Root text.
Yes, yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so then so last week we shared this the absolute nature of mind is a self-arising, non-draw Buddha wisdom, yet because habitual grasping to dualistic conception, we are bound by it no matter what we do. As Supplicate Mother Tara of non-draw wisdom, please protect us. So that's verses is a very important section. Of course, actually, every verse is important, but that is also directly talking about non-dualistic. So the our mind is self-arising. Is like same verses as the first verses, like we're talking about Ambong Dhammadhartha. self-arising and unborn dharma dhatu, they're all same meanings. So our mind is unborn, that reason no death too. And then actually born is dependent, but unborn means independent. Mind is independent. Independent is also not just like usually we think independent means permanent, but kind of like not permanent independent, just uh, not dependent. Then you don't have a dependent, you don't have independent, because these two is related to each other, right? So same is the right hand and the left hand. So free from that dualistic thoughts. So that's kind of independent. That's kind of words is like it's hard to we get explain. So our minds always like follow the conceptual thoughts. So maybe yes or no. So we don't know how to go in between there, right? Yes or no, something like that. Right and left. Independent, dependent. So then what does it mean between? So actually there's a no independent, then cannot have a dependent. So this free from that kind of dependent. That just words is like using dependent, but not really dependent means like same is the dependent, independent. I mean independence like the follow the dependent and related to each other, not like that kind of way. So then this also like you see more study this way of a Bodhisattva chapters 9. So we talk about this all emptiness. That also helps you become more understanding what means self-arising. So self-arising, see, other all these phenomena is rising is causes of conditions. So the self-arising means like free from causes of conditions. And our mind nature is not dependent on causes and conditions. So that's why it's called self-arising. It's non-dual Buddha wisdom. So non-dualistic main point. So we have this, our minds already like follow the, habitual grasping to dualistic conceptions. So that's, we are bound by it. No matter what we do, we don't recognize this self-arising nature mind. So that's the reason we supplication to Tara. So Tara has already realized self-nature mind. We didn't have realized our own self-nature mind. So due to our this habitual grasping, and that's why we are stuck in samsara. So Tara is free from that dualistic grasping. So we supplication to Tara. And then actually when we realize this our self-nature mind, I mean the self-born, self-arising, nature of mind is self-arising. When you realize that nature, your own nature, so then become your absolute truth, Tara. So today, supplicate Mother Tara of Nodra Wisdom, please protect us. And although we abide in the perfect meaning of absolute truth, we do not understand the interdependence of cause and effect on the relative level. We are ignoring about the true reality of phenomena. Supplicate Mother Tara of True Truth, Omniscience, please protect us. So this section, little bit different are usually explained than other, like say these translators, or translate. The reason is if we follow directly, explain, it's not make sense sometimes. The reason is you have understanding absolute truth nature, but you don't know cause and effect. So that kind of, the usually the other root text, this commentary, the root text is like just translate English like that. Tibet also like just you go directly words, explain kind of like that. If you follow that, then can think about if you have realized absolute truth, then why you don't understand the relative truth? So that's really no make sense, right? Do you understand what the main point? So you have realized absolute truth. Then you don't know cause and effect. So who has realized absolute truth? Who don't know the relative truth? Who's that? If you have realized absolute truth, you must understanding cause and effect. First, we have to understand the cause and the effect. Then you have to realize absolute truth. So here's root text just directly and translation or explain is like that. You realize absolute truth, but you don't know cause and effect. So that means like then think about so who's that? Who has that problem? We cannot show anyone who has realized they don't know cause and effect. We don't know cause and effect because the reason is we don't have realized. Yeah. Long as you have realized absolute truth, why you don't know the relative truth then? So that means like root text like have to explain. There's many like even Jigong Kaju, this just people who try just explain like just directly like that way explain, but for me it's no make sense. That's why I put more explain in the my this commentary, this section. So no same is like exactly the usually people explain, because this one is you have to understanding different than usually pick up the root text. So we do not understand the interdependence of cause and effect on. So what I put here is although we abide in the perfect meaning of absolute truth, that means like you have Buddha nature, you have example in this sadhana teaching, you have absolute truth Tara within on your mind, but that don't you have this absolute truth Tara, that means like you cannot be Tara, because you have that true nature, Tara, Buddha's nature. You have all the Buddha's nature. You have Tara nature. Absolutely, you are Tara, you are Buddha. But so we have this relative truth. We have relative truth, so we have to follow the cause and effect until we realize absolute truth. So you have something, but you have to discover that. Until discover that, you have is like still same as you don't have. So example, one person like is hunger and thirsty, extremely poor. So that person's under his home is like in his home under the ground has millions cost special object, but that person didn't know he has that. That's the reason he's suffering. He is poor, right? So same like that, we have this absolute true nature, Buddha nature, but we don't recognize that. So same is the guy, he extremely poor, suffering, thirsty and poor, but he didn't recognize he has that special object. He didn't recognize until he discovered that object, special treasure. He have to discover that. Until he Until he discovered he's still suffering, poor. So like that way, we have to understand these verses. We do not understand means like we don't understand we have that absolute nature. And then also the interdependence of cause and effect on the relative level. So that's why we have a cause and effect. Long as you discover this absolute truth nature, then you are free from relative this cause and effect. Until you don't discover, you didn't discover until that absolute truth. So you have this cause and effect. Same is the person who is extremely hungry and thirst, poor and suffering. So until the person discover the treasure, he is suffering. So that's the way you have to understand these verses. Otherwise, you say like you realize absolute truth, but you don't know cause and effect. So then Buddha had already realized absolute truth. Then Buddha don't know relative truth. He don't know cause and effect. Okay. We say Jigten Sungho is realized already Buddha, so he don't know cause and effect. Then who knows cause and effect? This is sentient beings. Some sorry sentient beings have to know the cause and effect, right? Because realizers don't know. So that becomes a big mistake. Like words, like like translate, but you don't really think correctly, and it's become misunderstand. So that's we have to understand these verses. We are ignoring about the true relative of phenomena, because why we don't know that is we have ignorant. So same is like the guy suffering because you know hunger and thirsty, poor, very poor. So that's why he's suffering. He don't know because he has this treasure. The reason is because due to his ignorant. Yeah. So same like that. We don't realize this absolute truth we have. We have that nature. We have absolute truth Tara, but we didn't recognize that. Until we don't recognize, we have cause and effect. We are stuck in the cause and effect, but still also we don't know cause and effect truly because due to this ignorance. So that means actually we don't know absolute truth, we don't know relative truth too. Absolute truth means like you have to know means you have to know you have the nature and you have to discover that nature. So we don't have that. We don't have absolute truth. Relative truth, you have to know cause and effect. And you don't know the cause and effect due to ignorance, then we don't know relative truth too. Okay. So that's you have to understand. That's the reason we have a supplication to Mother Tara of truth omniscient. Please protect us. Then who knows absolute truth? Who knows relative truth? It's Tara knows. I don't know. That's why we have to supplication to Tara. Otherwise, why we have to supplication to Tara? So she has a nature, I have a nature, we both have a nature. Why I have to supplication Tara? But we don't know. We have a nature, but we don't know. We didn't discover our own nature. Even we don't know the absolute truth. Even we don't know the relative truth. I mean, we don't know the relative truth. That's the reason we have to supplication to Tara. And then one day you discover your own nature, then you are become absolute truth Tara. So that is the means like we are supplication to our own nature. It's absolute truth, protection. So this verses, each verses we have to go three, I told you that like three different levels, outer level, inner level. Although we abide in the perfect meaning of absolute truth, so we have this abide means this Buddha nature is abide with our nature. It's truth means Buddha is there. Means that actually our mind's nature is always Buddha. See, nature is Buddha always. It is no door, but we don't recognize that. So now this explain is go correctly, see? Because we have this nature, I didn't say like we realize that. We have that nature, but we didn't recognize that. That's why the problems, right? If you recognize your nature, then you don't know cause and effect. So who's that? You cannot show anyone. Then that's a big mistake. The absolute truth Tara is always there. See, so the our Buddha nature is always there. That is the absolute truth Tara. That is always there. Yet we don't recognize this because we didn't recognize that nature. What happens when we don't recognize absolute truth? So we don't recognize this absolute true nature. What happens? The problem is that we do not understand the interdependence of cause and effect on the relative level. So that's a go really correctly together. Why we don't understand the relative truth? Because we don't recognize our absolute truth nature. So that means then Buddhas knows relative truth because they already recognize, absolute truth. Then they are free from suffering. They recognize their own nature, and that's why they're understanding this relative truth. We don't understand the relative truth because we don't know absolute truth. We do not recognize absolute truth. The problem is that we do not understand the interdependence of cause and effect on the relative level. So we don't know the cause and effect relative truth. That means, like say, main point, we have the nature, we have absolute truth, Tara, but until you realize your nature, until that you have to follow the relative truth, the cause and effect. We have cause and effect. So now when you read this supplication, see, they talk about like two qualities there, wisdom and method both. So wisdom, see, we have this perfect meaning of absolute truth. So that is wisdom. Then we don't understand that wisdom, but that's the reason we have to follow cause and effect, but still we don't understand the cause and effect. So then, see, I don't understand cause and effect. All these sentient beings don't understand the cause and effect. All these sentient beings wanting happiness, but create causes of suffering. So you really think about that yourself, and you think about all others, like why they create causes of suffering. Then you arise compassion to others. Because we see all sentient beings due to ignorance. They don't know the cause and effect. They want happiness, but they create a cause of suffering. We don't want suffering, but we create that causes of suffering. We wanting happiness, but we don't create causes of happiness because due to ignorance, and we don't recognize. So that's it. Then you think about yourself. We have this problem. So all these sentient beings have that problem, and we recognize, and then you cultivate the verses and arise compassion to all other sentient beings. So we recognize that all the beings the same problem. We recognize the same expectation, but the problem is the same. So that helps us, and like become arise compassion for other beings. So it's like become, you can use that word and cultivate compassion for other. So then this cause and effect is, see, also relative truth is same as absolute truth. Absolute truth is Buddha, he didn't discover. No, he didn't create absolute truth, but he discovered absolute truth because it's absolute truth is reality. It's nature of phenomena. Absolute truth means So then relatively also true, long as you don't have that realized, this relative truth, like cause and effect, also natural law of phenomena. So that's also Buddha, he didn't create. Is he discovered relative truth. So same is like Shangdi Deva, yesterday we talking about, as long as we have a delusion, we have this relative cause and effect. All sentient beings have this cause and effect. That is like no one created. It's natural law of phenomena. So you do some cultivate virtuous deeds, result is naturally happiness. So we could create causes the cultivate non-virtuous deeds, its result is naturally suffering. So that is no one created, but it's natural law of phenomena. So Buddha just discovered that. He also like figure out that why these beings wanting happiness, why is suffering. So when he enlightened, he discovered this relative truth. So that is like no one created, it's natural law of phenomena. Then there, relatively, so you have something negative, they also have something positive conduct to that. Because nothing is permanent there. Long as you know something, they always have antidote, something. So where they have a negative, they also have a positive, another antidote. That is the nature of phenomena. It's very special, powerful. Nature just naturally created that. So everything has a solution, main point, something. Example, we get sick. So that every sickness has medicine. Long as we know, discovering something. Because the reason is nothing is permanent there. So that everything has like negative has antidote. So if you know that you really know that this all cause and effect, relative truth means, yeah. So that who knows, Buddha knows, because Buddha has omniscient wisdom. He has two omniscient wisdom. One omniscient wisdom is realize absolute truth, and knows like absolute truth. Reality is perfect meaning of absolute truth. So then another omniscient is understanding this all cause and effect. So then Buddha knows these two. Buddha have two omniscience. He knows all this absolute truth and relative truth. So we don't know absolute truth. We don't know relative truth. Because we don't have this omniscience, wisdom. We think we know relative truth. Actually, we don't know relative truth. So if you know really relative truth, cause and effect, see, we get this coronavirus, like someone right away can put out the medicine there. That means we don't know the relative truth. What is the antidote to this coronavirus? Like that, Actually, there has everything negative has antidote, long as we know. So that is relatively true. Then, okay, so see this right now I'm sharing with you the cause and effect. So if you have realized absolute truth, then you are free from cause and effect, because like the other verses are like self-arising, nature, absolute truth, free from dualistic thoughts. So long as you have that realized, and then you are free from this relative truth, the cause and the effect. You are free from cause and the effect. See, that self-nature arising absolute truth is not dependent on cause and the effect. So until that realize, we have to follow the cause and the effect. And then you realize absolute truth, then you know this cause and the effect. So then, see, that means like root text, you cannot just directly, or understanding, but that has like more, explain to understand. Otherwise, like you have realized absolute truth, then you don't know cause and effect. Then no one knows then cause and effect. Buddha don't know cause and effect because he is realized. Then we say realize, don't know cause and effect. Then samsaric beings don't know cause and effect. Then who going to know the cause and the effect? So no one going to know cause and effect, right? Like that kind of problem is you directly, uh, you know, uh, translate this verses except. Okay, so now we did not realize truth and effect, then it doesn't matter if in absolute true we are Buddha or not. Nothing is going to change. I think where we are there, right? Okay, so it's after the root text. We absolutely all sentient beings are Buddha, but we have to follow the relative truth, cause and effect. So absolutely sentient beings are Buddha. We have the nature, but we didn't recognize that nature, so we have to follow the cause and effect. If we don't recognize the relative true cause and effect, then it doesn't matter if in absolute true we are Buddha or not. So we have the nature doesn't matter, still we are stuck in samsara. So same is like you long as the uh the like poor person and he don't knows he has treasure until that person is suffering, doesn't matter he has that treasure, anyway he going to suffering, that person is going to suffering, so like that we have the absolute truth, but until you uh, discovered realize, still we are stuck in samsara. Until that we are stuck in samsara. Nothing is going to change you if you don't understand and follow the relative truth. The main point is that even though you are absolute true Buddha, if you are controlled by emotions and if you don't follow cause and effect, this doesn't protect you, because cannot protect you. It's the reason we have to follow cause and effect, the relative truth level. We are ignoring about the true reality of phenomena. So we have ignorance. Why we don't know relative truth? Why we don't know absolute truth? Because we have ignorant about the true reality of phenomena. Means that we don't recognize the true truth. We don't recognize the true truth. Abs- Absolute true and relative true. We supplicate Tara and ask Tara to please protect me and protect all other beings. We supplicate Tara, please help me to recognize cause and effect. We supplicate to the realize to truth, embodiment of Tara. So that is the auto level supplication to Tara. See, that's the reason we have a supplication Tara, because we don't realize absolute truth, we don't recognize relative truth due to our ignorance. So due to our ignorance, we don't know the cause and the effect. So that's the reason even we want happiness, but we create causes of suffering. So then who knows absolute truth? Tara have realized absolute truth. And then she has realized absolute truth. She knows relative truth because she is free from ignorance. So that's the reason we supplication to Tara. Actually, we have absolute true nature, but even we have the nature doesn't make sense. Means like nothing going to help you, right? Still you're going to suffering. So there are many examples in the Uttara Tantra has many examples. So one example is like one woman has picnicked. She has a baby in the stomach. The baby is actually is a chakra king of chakra king. I think chakra king. Chakra king means like most powerful king. She don't know her baby is chakra king. Baby didn't say I am chakra king. So she don't have any protections. No one support her. No one helping her. So she is suffering. So like that, we have the Buddha, absolute truth nature, but we don't recognize that. And our nature didn't say, I have, Buddha is in here, you have to know, I am Buddha there. So he didn't say, our nature didn't tell us. So anyway, that's the reason we are no protections in samsara. So, and that's why we are suffering in samsara. That's the reason we have to take refuge to Buddha, us protecting, protect me, please give me protection. So we have to take refuge to Buddha and the Dharma Sangha, because who realize it? See, no, is we take refuge to Tara, ask, please give me protection, help me. And we don't have our own protection. We don't recognize that. So that's why, we are supplication to Tara. This is a relatively supplication to Tara. The reason is we are ordinary person. And why we are ordinary? Because we have ignorance. We don't know cause and effect, relative truth. We don't know absolute truth because we don't realize we are stuck in samsara suffering. Then who has realized is Tara has realized absolute truth. Tara knows cause and effect. Tara is free from ignorance. That's why we supplication to Tara, ask, please take refuge to Tara, protect us, help us protect us, So that's a relatively supplication to Tara. The absolute truth supplication, Tara, means inner level supplication. So we have our own nature. Long as you know you have the nature, you discover your own nature. That is absolute truth supplication to Tara. It's actually inner level supplication to Tara. We use follow this relatively outer level supplication to Tara and outer level supplication to Tara, inner level supplication to Tara. So it's inner level supplication to Tara. Then the inner level has sometimes like two sections, like secret level, also two, but sometimes they goes together. So goes together also okay, and like we sometimes like more details, so then we can make separate inner level and the secret level. So anyway, outer level means relatively, inner level means absolute truth. So then we supplication to the realize the two truths, embodiment of Tara, that is the outer level supplication to Tara. So this Tara is true truth embodiment of Tara. True truth, omniscient wisdom, Tara has that. Tara is able to form body, is true truth embodiment of Tara. This outer level supplication to Tara, when true omniscient wisdom arises in your mind, that is absolute truth protection Tara. So it's absolute truth protect Tara. Okay, so now we finish the teaching. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do, Khenpo.
Yes.
If you have realized the absolute truth and you've realized cause and effect, why would you not follow that? Why would you still be lost in unwholesome worldly activities? Like if you actually understand cause and effect, how is it that some people who have realized absolute truth, as the other verse says, are still lost in unwholesome worldly activities?
So who realize, who lose unwholesome activity? Where is that?
One of the verses says, some realize it but don't practice perfectly, and are those who are lost in unwholesome worldly activities. So so I read that like they've realized absolute truth, but they're still lost in unwholesome worldly activities.
Yes. So that's why I just tonight, give you so many informations, right? I told that is the incorrect.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, that was my question then. I mean, it sounds like even though they've realized it, okay. Well, what does the line mean then? Some realize it, but do not
Then
practice
you
perfectly.
I just told tonight whole about that, that like explain, and you have to read this, then it's this teaching. Some reason maybe you didn't understand what I talked.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just
Yeah,
misunderstand
it's
the
all
verse.
talk about that part, like that is mistake understanding.
Okay.
So see, here is also the commentary in this today. What I share is like, although we abide in the perfect meaning of absolute truth, so means that actually our mind nature is always a Buddha. It is no draw, it's no deluded, but we do not recognize that the absolute truth, the Tara, is always there. Yet we don't recognize this. What happens when we don't recognize absolute truth? The problem is that, see, we don't have absolute truth realized. That reason we do not understand interdependence of cause and effect on the relative truth. So long as you have realized that, so you have to know cause and effect. Do you get or
So
no?
are you saying then, Khenpo, once you realize effect, then you have realized the absolute truth? Or are you saying that someone who has realized the absolute truth would automatically know cause and effect? They couldn't not have the two. So
I think Khenpo's frozen.
I think you're right.
I know.
Yeah, you're not coming through, Khenpo.
Okay.
That did.
He seems to be moving. It's just his voice, or
Okay, so now you can hear.
Yes, that's good. Thank you.
I changed the connections, so be patient. And what is the debate you said?
oh, well, following up on the question, are you saying that if we understood the cause and effect, then we would automatically understand absolute truth? Because if we realize that, then we would be realized, because we wouldn't be living in ignorance anymore. Is that the main point? And if we already we were already realized,
as long as you realize absolute truth, then you know all this relative truth, because you're already free from ignorance.
Okay. But as we're realizing absolute truth, which is the point of practice and study, contemplation and meditation, then it's good that we stay grounded in the cause and effect, I would imagine, or otherwise we could go into nihilism or eternalism. We could go to two extremes, correct? Cause and effect holds us in that good space to create understanding. Is that correct statement or no?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So what's wrong with it then? So I understand.
Clearly, but I don't understand clearly.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, your question is I don't understand clearly.
Okay. So if we are grounded in or if we're developing the understanding of cause and effect, understanding cause and effect will lead us out of ignorance. Is that not correct? Is that a correct statement? Will help us to gain enlightenment, because if we don't understand the cause and we don't understand the effect, then why would we even?
So just
Does
think,
that make sense?
if you,
Kind of follows on his question.
Long as you don't realize you have ignorance,
Mm-hmm.
then you
Okay.
you have a cause and the effect. When you don't have
Okay.
cause and effect,
Okay.
like
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
Khenpo,
yes.
from my understanding is we already are the Buddha. So we have the Buddha nature. We have the absolute truth inside us, but we didn't recognize it. So when we didn't recognize it, we do abide in the perfect. But because we don't realize it, so we still need to practice as a bodhisattva. The bodhisattva have to learn so many different kinds of things because all the true have the relative level. That relative level is not the absolute truth, then you know every relative level. Like if I ask whether the Buddha know how to fix a BMW motor vehicle, I don't think that if you didn't train to fix the BMW motor vehicle, you won't be able to. So you, as a bodhisattva, you do have to learn every single thing. That's about the cause and effect in the relative level. That's the bodhisattva path. The bodhisattva, many of them may already understand their true Buddha nature, or they already have that, know that I'm the Buddha, and they have that understanding, but that doesn't mean they know how to go right, how to arrange flower, how to cook. All these bodhisattvas have to learn to practice those kind of things. Isn't it true? That's my understanding.
So, okay, Laming, it's how to answer that.
Because in the Bodhisattva path, we were talking about the Bodhisattva in the Alanka Sutra and say that, the Bodhisattva had to visit many different great Bodhisattvas. Some of them are scholars, some of them are judge, some of them are policemen, whatever. And so they had to go to ask different experts to learn how those Bodhisattva paths. So for me, I feel that, yeah, we might understand the absolute nature inside us, or we have the conviction that I am the Buddha. I really believe I am the Buddha, and I know very deeply I am the Buddha, but doesn't mean that I know every single thing in this world.
Okay, so I'll give you one answer, like Laming. So you just your knowledge or intellectually, you just like you have like kind of understanding, you have a Buddha nature, absolute truth nature you have, but that means like you don't have a realizer, and intellectually knowing is different. Okay.
So when we
always give an example. Like you cook you know, so like food you know the food helps like release like your hunger. So you cook the food, but then that's still you're hungry. Same like that, you understand that you have Buddha nature, but still you suffering because you don't have realized. So this point is like realization, realize means you have the not only intellectual understanding, you have your own practice and then you realize you are free from ignorance.
So
So
if you are free from ignorance, there's nothing about cause and effect, isn't it? Then you know everything, if that's the case. But free from ignorance means, what does it mean, free from ignorance? Isn't it free from ignorance is the true nature, you're free from it. But it doesn't mean that because you understand, you really realize the true nature of Buddha, then you understand every single thing. I think that's still need practice, isn't it?
oh, sorry, I didn't get that part, Lami.
No, like the Buddha. When the
Hmm.
Buddha in the past life, in the Jataka story, the Buddha had to practice many different kinds of things, compassion, sacrifice his life to the tigers, and all these Jataka stories. And that the Buddha was practicing to understand everything. So when you understand the absolute truth, doesn't mean you can know every relative truth. Because relative truth, like if you want to understand how to fix a BMW, you still need to get training from the BMW, not because you realize the true nature of the Buddha, you will know how to fix a BMW. I don't think so. Isn't it true?
So
In
you
the
mean
relative,
who know the absolute truth? That means you don't know the relative truth, you mean?
yes, because relative truth is so many different kind of things.
Oh, I see.
So you have to learn everything. Like when we were a student in the Buddhist school when we were young,
So
and
I
we
know
always
that, okay, Laming, so
the
the
Buddha know how to
point
make
is,
you
main point is like we know, so like we can fix the BMW because all is interdependent. So
But
that's it. You know it's interdependent, then you already know how to fix. That you know so that you can fix it. That's all is interdependent.
well, if interdependent doesn't mean you know how to fix BMW. I don't think so. Even if you understand it.
Okay. So I understanding. Okay, so that's the exactly the in the logic book has this debating. So some no Buddhists say Buddha cannot be omniscient wisdom because he don't know, and how many like kind of like like what they says is like example. Our body has many different kind of like it's bugs or something like so many different other sentient beings dependent on our body. So that kind of they said, oh, Buddha don't know that part. Our body has so many sentient beings dependent on our body. So that kind of Buddha don't know. And the Buddha don't know how far you can go, like this place, so how far, like maybe example, Buddha don't know, like Asia, when he was in India, he don't know in the United States, he don't know Asia, like that kind of like, they have so many debating there. So I forget mostly, but anyway, this Buddhist philosopher's answer is Buddha knows everything, but he don't have to share anything about these samsaric things. He only focus for liberation. He only share for liberation. He knows these samsaric things. He don't have to share that because someone knows very subtle level things. Then why they don't know this gross level? So that kind of they have good answers there, but I forget the all answers. Buddha see the very subtle levels things, but then why he cannot see the gross level? So like that, BMW fix is like really gross level, easy, like ordinary people can fix. So then why Buddha don't know that?
I feel that if That's two levels. One level
But
is
why he don't have
I
to
know
think that, because that is not for the anything benefit for the liberation. So only
Yes.
Buddha shared for the liberation, nothing any other than that. Only something like for helps or for liberation, he shared that. So that he didn't talk about the samsaric things. And that kind of, they have good answers, but it's exactly just your question, same thing.
I believe the Buddha know a lot of things because the Buddha had practiced in many past lives to accumulate those knowledge. So he know a lot of things. But whether he know, well, BMW, if I didn't even realize teacher cannot fix a BMW. I'm sorry, I just don't believe. Even if both level, I don't believe we found someone really a realizing teacher, and we ask whether you can fix BMW. He would just look at you. Why do I have to fix BMW? Because BMW doesn't related to life and death, doesn't related to liberation. So I don't care about BMW. You can say that, but you cannot say you didn't have training. Even if goes level, you will immediately know how to fix a BMW. I don't believe that because that's not course. You have to have the course in fact to learn how to fix the BMW, no matter it's how goes level.
Okay, so then you just say I don't believe it's okay, but so we
But
cannot
I believe the
we
Buddha
cannot
know a
debate
lot
for
of things.
that, because I cannot bring the Buddha to check the, is it can fix a BMW or not. We don't know. So anyway, exactly that kind of debating, that exactly you're debating, like ask question is that we have in the philosophy this logic book has same like exactly like that.
Yeah, because it's a very,
So the
very
main point,
familiar.
the Buddhist philosopher answer is like they said Buddha knows, but he didn't talk. That means he not important. He don't share.
So how does that the teacher know the Buddha know? He's not the Buddha. How does he
Because it's
know that?
logically approving, logically.
Well, logically, the Buddha did say one thing. Say that the Dharma I teach is like the hand, the leaf on my head. The Dharma I don't teach
Someone
is like
who
the
knows
forest.
like someone who knows swim very well. So
Yeah,
we know that
a
person
lot of things that
the
I
person
know.
is like use the water. Like someone knows to swim, we knows all that he went to the like swim in the water somewhere else. So that is like you recognize that proving like he went to water and like swim somewhere in the river or in the pool or somewhere. So that is the like that way you understand, like Buddha share this all the absolute truth, details, subtle levels. We knows all, Buddha knows all this gross level, everything. Okay, so now we cannot debate on that. Lame, you are winner, okay?
Okay.
So I cannot proving you that tonight. So I believe Buddha knows. So you maybe think not believe that the realizer don't know. So then we don't know. So we needed to find the realizer, okay?
Thank you, Emperor.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Khenpo.
Yes.
Talking about the Buddha has two truths, omniscient, and he absolutely know the relative truths, but he's still under the control of the cause effect. He's just free of the suffering of the cause and effect, right? That's my understanding. So, he cannot break the law of the cause and effect. So that's the law. It's not what he, it's nature law. So he will not be out of this law. He will not be, he cannot escape from this law, but he does not suffering because we suffering because we are our ignorance. Buddha does not suffering because he knows everything. However, that if he make bad cause, he will get the bad effects. If he has no cause, he will have no effect. So that's a law that will not change. That will be the same for both Buddha and human beings, right? Ordinary people. But the difference that the human, because due to the ignorance, we do not understand the law and we make the wrong behavior, right? And when we learn the Dharma, we understand a little bit and we try to correct it so we can change our path on, to the right direction. But Buddha knows everything. However, the law is still law. They cannot escape from that, right? They cannot break the law without any effect. That's my understanding, and I just want to confirm with you that.
So Buddha has his own perception, is no cause and effect there. So others' perception is shows the cause and effect. That's like just a example. Someone do the mantra power. The fire not going to burn that person because he can touch fire, right? And that can person like make the heart around, use the tongue like this, heart around, so they're not burned. But so that person is like the fire not affected.
Mm-hmm.
So Buddha is like that, this karma cause is not affected for Buddha, but he don't say karma not affected me, don't affected you too. He didn't say that. He said this affect you, don't touch. Like same as a fire, they burn you, don't touch.
Yeah, I believe that everyone has that ability if we really train ourselves to do that. Yeah, so that's like we do not have that cause, so we do not have that effect. The people who can, free from the hurt of the fire because they are not born in that way. They train and develop that kind of skill. So the skill is developed by kind of practice or something like that. So
That's the example. Okay, that's just example, right? And so the Buddha actually, of course, he is like he himself is free from cause and effect, but he shared this all cause and effect for others. This cause and effect is for the cause affected other people, other beings who don't have realized that. But anyway, actually, cause and effect also emptiness. Long as you have realized emptiness, then cause and effect also emptiness. So same is you realize the fire is emptiness, then fire not going to burn you. When is emptiness, when not going to affect you. This five elements you realize is emptiness, then five elements is not going to affect anything for you.
It's emptiness is on a relative level or absolute level?
It's
I'm kind of confused.
Absolute truth realize.
Yeah, okay. So it's absolute truth, right? So that
you don't have realized absolute truth. You have this cause and effect. So then Buddha is realized that then he don't have a cause and effect, free from cause and effect. But he didn't say I don't have a cause and effect. Because
there are
like some like mother has strong compassion on their own child, and mother like have something power. She did the fire not affected for mother. She never said fire affected for me, don't affect your kids. So she said this fire affected for everyone, don't touch fire, so protect for all the kids for fire, from the fire, right? For the fire. So like that, Buddha sharing it's different.
I know it's different because they do not suffer. Their story in the sutra that Buddha has a 3 days headache because in previous.
That is for showing for others. Like see example, if kids wanted to, like see, I told you mother, she have some power. She didn't this fire effect for her, but she pretending, you know, fire affected me, paying for burn, also paying for police don't touch, you know, like that kind of mother try to protect them for kids. They're showing for the kids. So that kind of, you know, Buddha showing for others, like follow the cause and the effect. That is the core relativity, like, you know, Buddha sharing. We have that words also. What is usually, I don't have English words, that one. So Tandong, Nidong. Tandong means like showing for someone others, like try to help for others, then the protecting showing for that is correct.
I understand that's yeah.
So actually the himself is not accept that, but he's trying to show for protecting is like correct. That's called Tandong. Yeah.
Are you saying an example for others, Khenpo? Like he's showing he's an example for others?
No example is there have words name Tandong, Nidong means different kind of words. It's like just I share, you know, protecting, like say, oh, that's the correct, but actually not really correct.
Yeah, that's his method, right? The teaching method. So
that
that
the Buddha has wisdom, he has this all compassion, then he has this, you know, ability to share individually what they need. So then you know, like teaching is followed by some is individually, you know. So then he have the ability to help that person to share something like that due to their capacity. But you cannot say, oh, Buddha said that is 100% he has that problem. You know.
I see what you mean, Khenpo. Yes.
Okay.
And so the two actually the two truths is one truth, right? Two truths is also the way that Buddha tried to teach us.
Yes.
Okay, so if in the two truth way, then the Buddha will still be under the law of the cause effect. But in the
Buddha
one
is not under the law and the cause and the effect. But anyway, okay, he pretending he's under the law and the cause and the effect, but he's not.
yeah, in the one truth aspect, right? So as you said, there's I know that two words, so it's like a one truth and two truths, or something that
when we talk about the cause and the effect, you cannot say only one truth. Like that.
Yeah.
Talking about the cause and the effect means we already have two truths.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then that time you cannot say, oh, one truth. Then oh yeah, or they have two truth, or they have one truth. So then that is confused, right? So when you realize absolute truth, there's only one truth. But until that, we have two truth. So long as you talk about the cause and the effect, then you cannot say like, oh, one truth. Cannot go to there. So you must have, like, long as you talk about cause and effect, we have two truth. Okay, so now we.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much, Khenpo. Thank you
Welcome.
for.
Thank you. So now we're going to cultivate the short meditation. So short meditation cultivate, realize absolute truth. Then you can see they have a cause and effect. Good evening, everyone. Share the dedication, Maryland. Okay. Lamin, can you read? Oh, she cannot read, right? Mary, please, can you read?
Sure. Emaho, in the center is the marvelous Buddha Amitabha of boundless light. On the right is the Lord of great compassion, and on the left is Vajrapani, the Lord of powerful means. All are surrounded by the limitless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness is the blissful pure land of Dewa Chen. When I and all beings pass from samsara, may we be born there without taking samsaric rebirth. May I have the blessings of meeting Amitabha face to face. By the power of the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, may we attain this aspiration without hindrance. Teata pensadriya awa bodhanaya soha. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase, higher and higher. By this virtue, may I achieve omniscience by defeating all enemies, confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. As Manjushri the warrior realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. May the teachings of the great Dringumpa Ratna Shri, who is the omniscient Lord of Dharma, Master of Interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Everyone, see you tomorrow. Good evening.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
See you
Thanks,
tomorrow.
thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Lamin.
Thank you.